All right, today we're going to talk about the one piece of tech that really connected the old world of flip phones to the world we live in right now. I'm talking about the 3G revolution. And to really get why it was such a big deal, you kind of have to remember what things were like before it even existed.
Seriously, just for a second, try to remember it. A phone was, well, a phone. You made calls, and if you were lucky, you could play a super pixelated game of Snake. The idea of texting was this amazing new thing. That was the world, and it was just waiting for a massive, massive upgrade.
So the second generation, or 2G, it gave us a couple of amazing things, right? We got clear digital voice and, of course, texting. But you can see the problem right there on the screen. The internet part was just awful. It was painfully slow. The world was craving something that could handle voice, data, and media all at the same time.
Okay, so let's really set the scene here. What was it actually like in that 2G era, right on the edge of everything changing?
And this is the absolute key. You have to understand, 2G networks were built for one thing: phone calls. The web stuff, that was kind of bolted on later. It was never designed for browsing websites or sending pictures or, forget about it, watching videos. It was a voice network that could barely, and I mean barely, handle a trickle of data.
And then, right around the early 2000s, the answer finally showed up: the third generation of mobile communication. And yeah, it was about to change literally everything.
So what even is 3G? Well, put simply, it was the first mobile network that was designed from the ground up to handle not just your voice, but a real, steady, reliable stream of data. The internet wasn't an afterthought anymore. It was the whole point.
And that shift from being voice first to voice and data just unlocked a completely new universe of possibilities. Let's dig into what our phones could suddenly do for the very first time.
Now, the real magic here wasn't just any one of these things. It was that they all worked together. You could actually be on a phone call and look something up online at the same time. You could send a picture message, an MMS, or even try out video calling. It was a massive leap that just made the whole network faster and way more capable for everybody.
And honestly, this just says it all. This was the dream. It wasn't some stripped-down, text-only, wannabe version of the web. For the first time ever, you had the real deal, the full-blown internet, right there in the palm of your hand. So how on earth did this actually work? What was the secret sauce that suddenly made our phones so much more powerful? Let's take a quick look at the tech that made it all happen.
Okay, the main technology has this crazy name, WCDMA. Don't worry about the acronym. The concept is what's important. It's basically a super clever way to let tons of people use the exact same radio frequency without all the signals getting mixed up.
The best way to think about it is like this. Imagine you're in a super crowded room, and dozens of different pairs of people are all having conversations at once. Now, what if every pair was speaking its own unique, secret language? You could easily tune out everyone else and just focus on the one language you understand. That's pretty much what WCDMA does, but with digital codes instead of languages.
Now, 3G wasn't just one single thing across the entire globe. There were two main flavors that popped up. You had UMTS, which was the big one in Europe and a lot of the world, and then you had CDMA 2000, which was used mostly in the Americas and parts of Asia. But really, they both use similar ideas to get to the same finish line, giving us reliable data on our phones.
But here's the funny thing about progress. As revolutionary as 3G was, it was never going to be the final chapter. You could say its biggest legacy was getting us all hooked on mobile data, which created this massive demand for something even faster.
And you can just see the jump right here on this chart. I mean, 2G was basically crawling. 3G was this incredible leap forward, getting up to a few megabits per second. But you can also see that the next jump, the 1 to 4G, was going to be even more insane. You know, 3G walked so that 4G could run.
Of course, looking back now from our 5G world, it's pretty easy to see the cracks. The speeds were nowhere near fast enough for crisp, high-def video streaming, and there was this noticeable lag or latency that made things like real-time gaming pretty frustrating. These were the exact problems that the next generation was built to solve.
So what's the big takeaway here? What's the real legacy? Well, without 3G, the smartphone as we know it, it probably wouldn't even exist. 3G is what turned a phone from just a calling device into a powerful pocket computer. It created the entire app economy and laid all the critical groundwork for the high-speed, always-connected world we all live in today. So 3G proved that mobile data wasn't just a cool idea, it was essential. It opened the door. And the very next question everyone started asking was, okay, that's great, but how do we blow that door completely off its hinges and make a connection so fast that it feels, well, instant? And that, of course, is a story for another time. Thanks for watching.